have you been doing much yoga stuff outside of the what we're
Uh,
doing?
no, it's mostly these calls per week.
All right.
Yeah, but I have
Awesome.
actually started some Wing Chun as well now. So
Hey,
yeah,
all
yeah,
right. How many classes in are
yeah. I think I'm like 6 classes in, so
you? Oh,
it's
nice.
2 a week. So yeah,
All right. So starting to
so
get there.
yeah, I'm starting to kind of understand like the power of it. You know what I mean? I'm not able to do it, but it's kind of like you're when I'm training a little bit against people who's done it for a while, it's like they're like a block of rock. Just it's yeah, a lot of power.
Oh yeah. No, I remember going up with people who've been doing it for a few years and just like how yeah, how stable they were. It's
Mm,
yeah, it's it's pretty wild.
yeah,
Just even just like the applicability to life with different stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice practice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so yeah, it's like one day with yoga and then 2 days with Wing Chun. I feel it's a nice little combo there.
Hmm. For sure. The
Yeah.
relaxation, the stretching with the
Mm,
yoga, and yeah, and then the yeah, I guess just a lot of like you really got to pay attention when you're doing Wing Chun. I feel like really got
yeah,
to pay. Yeah, like you can't be in your head at all.
uh,
It's like you gotta because it's just more of a fluid thing than like a reaction thing.
mm. Yeah, I really like it for that. It's interesting. But I see like how much practice it is in, letting go kind of the muscle and the tension and
Yeah,
yeah, all that stuff.
yeah, sure. So yeah, that's awesome, man. You're getting the balance in. I've not been keeping up on the Wing Chun stuff. The yoga's been nice being able to yeah, just get the stretching and relaxation in. So um yeah, but yeah, besides that, just doing my best to be here. Uh, paying attention to what's going on and not in my head. So
Yeah. No, I feel that it is so interesting. It's like because for the longest time, or the longest time, I mean, like for quite a while, I've just really been kind of it's been things I've been feeling very light.
mhm.
And then for the last like I don't know, maybe a week or something, I've just been feeling a lot, and I've kind of been out of it. And for some at some point I was like, I will never lose this, you know what I mean? And then I've just been kind of a little bit, yeah, I didn't know what was happening, sort of. But it's just yeah, it was like after the call on Wednesday, I just yeah, it's just thinking about myself, right? And kind of yeah, it's the seriousness of me, of what I'm trying to do or not do, or it's like that's just sneaking in, right? And then suddenly I'm in it, and it's really nice to just get a reminder that you can just pay attention right here. And that's like I've just been kind of doing that yesterday and today, and it's nice. It's really nice. It's like I can still like feel a little bit more turbulent than I've been for a while, but it's like it's just it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? It's like it's just the problem is that it matters to me how I'm feeling, right? So it's like yeah, but
Mhm.
it's interesting. It is
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like always this, it can be just such a strong focus on yourself too. It's like how I'm feeling right now, how I'm doing right now, how much progress I'm making right now. And it's like that focus is like it's an immediate cutoff. And yeah, the alternative is yeah. not doing that so much, but obviously, but I feel like it comes kind of with just general like attention to ourselves too. Just like how much like I'm assuming things outside of myself or like taking my mind seriously, really, like having that sort of focus instead of like what's in my reality right now. But yeah, no, the that kind of hit me today as well this morning. You can just, yeah, just pay attention to what's going on here. And then you can go through all different sorts of feelings and waves of stuff and not just like immediately jump to conclusions about them, like an endpoint. Like that's definitely what it means, where it's coming from, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, you can just kind of let it pass, let it go through you. Or at
Mm.
least, yeah, it be there at the same time, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just be wherever you are and just feel it. And I think a lot of kind of thinking about it's like I've just been noticing lately, like it's sort of it's not always like about how I'm doing like mentally and stuff. It's also like, am I happy with sort of the days I'm having, right? It's like, yeah, it's like, but then again, that's also just a part of sort of um, yeah, is the thing is, I don't know, like, what's right? Like, for example, this weekend, it was just the most, suddenly it came like a heat wave from somewhere in Europe, and we just got the most amazing weather for like 4 days or something. And I wasn't feeling like doing very much, I was just feeling, you know, quite lazy, and I didn't feel like I was kind of taking advantage of the weather. And it's like that's not a problem in itself. The only like I could have made more use of the weather, like that's one thing, but it's just like why? And then I'm kind of evaluating it, right? Like, and I'm like, uh, this is the wrong thing to be doing, right? Instead of just embracing whatever I'm doing, and yeah, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I do that. I do that all the time. Like just that assumption you should be doing something different than what you're doing, like right there, or like feeling different, doing different, like could have done something differently or better. And like it's all looking in all different sort of directions. But yeah, and it's funny like where it comes from too. Like, oh, it's a nice day, you should take advantage. And it's like, yeah, but why? Like where does
mm,
that come from exactly? Like that experience is still going to end one way or another. And so it's like, yeah, it doesn't have to. Yeah, you
mm,
don't. It's not necessarily going to change your life one way or another. if you
no,
if you do or you don't do it, and there'll be more of those.
yeah, for sure. No, it is this, and it's also like, you know, it's also like it's like sometimes maybe it's nice to relax, it's just like I feel like that is like a really undervalued part of kind of at least like how I viewed my life. It's like the relaxation part has never really been very welcome. It's like I've been doing a lot of relaxation, but I've never like been happy about relaxing. If you know what I mean. It's like the good thing is kind of to be out there, going on an adventure, hanging out with people, that's all the kind of they've been like, that's like, oh, it's a good day, it's like the checkbox, it's like, yeah, we've done the right thing today. And that's like, there's nothing to check off kind of on that list that a part of me have created, throughout life. When I'm just hanging out in my apartment, maybe going for a short walk, and stuff like that. So yeah.
I know it's like there's no right or wrong day. There's no amount of check boxes that you can mark off throughout your life that's ever
Mm,
gonna that's ever gonna, solve me. Like I could check them off all day. And
yeah.
yeah, and it still won't get me where I want to be, wherever that
Mm,
is, like with a different feeling. But yeah, it's like we got to reconcile with ourselves to be where we're at,
yeah.
and not on that hamster wheel, kind of thinking we're running somewhere in our head, and
Mm,
like we're not going anywhere.
yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling like the other side of the coin, which is kind of when I've been doing a lot, right? It's like, and it's been a lot of fun. And then it's like it's kind of like putting that on a pedestal, like, because that wasn't the type of experience that I had a lot of fun with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really just, yeah, it is just kind of, yeah, buying into the idea that one is right and one is wrong, right? It's like, I'm not feeling like one is right and wrong, but it's like some situation feels very easy to be like satisfied with, like my ego or whatever, like my preferences, right? I've kind of felt really good and had a lot of fun, laughed a lot, smiled a lot, and then just, yeah, I don't know, it's
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and it's almost like you go through those experiences so you can either be looking forward to them or enjoy looking back at them too. Like you got something planned.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm really excited for that thing. And then you look back on it, look at pictures of it, look at memories of it. And it's like, it's all just like being able to imagine the situation that you were in that you probably weren't even, maybe you were. Maybe that's why it's something that, you look forward to or back to, but then like you're missing both sides of that, which is the same things, just maybe with a different degree of comfort, but it's still, the same opportunity to pay attention. It's just like sometimes in moments we have, you know, feelings or feeling that we prefer, and sometimes we don't, but usually that's just a conflict, you know, like the Krishnamurti quote, there is no conflict without I. And so it's
Mm,
really my opinion, my preference that gets in the way of either how I'm doing or like what an experience even is, or
yeah,
assumptions about it. That's all we got.
for sure. And it's like, if I just think about this weekend again, like, it was nothing wrong with this weekend. But I did feel a lot of friction, and I'm just thinking like how I feel like I was kind of very much kind of escaping, but it's like, what am I escaping? Am I escaping kind of my resistance to what I'm doing? It's almost like the moment is kind of creating the escape. Like, it's like, and that's the problem. Like, it's like I'm escaping because I want to escape because I'm escaping, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not feeling it, right? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
It's like
I'm not,
doubling
yeah,
down almost,
yeah,
like resisting your resistance, like,
yeah,
yeah. like going through something and then assuming, oh, I should be going through something else, like coming up with reasons right away. Yeah, it's almost always the case, I guess, with any sort of, friction. Even just like you could be going through anything too. Like even stuff you look forward to or look back on is still, you know, you have the same opportunity to pay attention and relax no matter
Mm.
what. But yeah, sometimes it feels there's a lot. It feels like a lot more in the way, or the feelings are a lot more intense. So it's like, oh, no, I can't
Mm.
relax here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, and the relaxation is not even like physical either. Always like when I read, I'll get caught up in my head instead of being able to like see the book and the characters and the images and everything. And like that's a lack of relaxation right there
Mm.
too. It's like just wanting to be certain, wanting to be sure of something else instead of just like where you're at. Because then, yeah, you got more of your mind available.
Mm.
Or it feels like that at least.
Yeah. I'm wondering sometimes, like if there is some sort of kind of resistant to a moment, right? Is it like, you know, I, because it is sort of the resistance is coming from me thinking I should be somewhere else or that the situation should be different somehow. And I'm always capable of changing the situation. Like I can always make that choice sort of and kind of like, all right. So I a part of me I think it sucks to be here, you know, and it's like then I can go somewhere else, right? But it's like, yeah, I'm not sure if it's like if I should all like you know what I mean? Like there's it's almost like an engine to get going, you know, sometimes. It's like, oh fuck this, you know. I'm going out, you know, I'm doing something exciting. I don't want to sit here and, you know, yeah, so it's maybe it's sort of it could be part of it could be like kind of sort of uh an indicator that part of you want to do something, but then we don't, and then there's a resistance, or yeah, I don't know.
Mhm. Yes,
Just
and like
speculating.
for sure, yeah, and like assuming that that thing's gonna, you know, be a better thing too.
Yeah, yeah, you can't know that. Like,
No,
yeah,
there's no guarantee there whatsoever, but we can create a lot of friction until it's like we feel like we have things under control, under our individual control. That's kind of what we're looking for, like under control of our individual life. But that's always going to come into conflict,
mm,
with everything. As soon as you go past that, that sense of what you think you have under control, like you expand even just a little bit, like it becomes far more obvious that you're not. There's way more going on in your environment all of a sudden, as opposed to when it's like more smaller and more contained. It can be an easier illusion to buy into, I guess. That sense of like, yeah, not having no conflict with what you're going through whatsoever. But,
mm,
yeah. Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I guess not having conflict with having conflict as well, kind of. It's like because it's yeah, I yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's I guess just it's just thoughts in a way, conflict, usually. So
It really, yeah. And I guess it's like trusting in yourself too, or not jumping to conclusions. necessarily one way or another. Like
Hmm.
kind of doing anything. It's like if you just assume that you or not assume so many things about yourself or the other person, and it's like a lot easier to just relax a little bit more.
Hmm.
It's like that. There's going to be conflict there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah. Well,
Yeah.
some conflict, I guess. Uh, yeah, it's still happening. But yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of. It's like also like a Krishnamurti thing. It's like that whenever like you feel you have choices, there is not clarity or something like that. And I feel that's very much related to kind of because a choice is kind of always something in the future, right? It's sort of it is conflict. It is literally conflict. It's two conflicting options. And it's like, yeah, but it's as you say, like you kind of got to trust that, the next step you'll do it, right? It's like you will do like the right next step without, needing to have necessarily the choices ready, I guess, because it's hard not to think up choices, if you know what I mean. It's like the brain is constantly kind of analyzing, coming up with options and all that shit. But it's like, I guess it's just letting that play out and then just kind of keep stepping, right? It's like keep moving forward and kind of feel every or like yeah, just trust the next move, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because yeah, a lot of the thoughts are, yeah, they're not in the moment things. I mean, they have to do with that, but yeah, in the moment, it's really like, are you trusting yourself or are you following something else? Are you following I'd even like a schedule. Like you can keep ideas of schedules, but like, right now, the thought of, the call that we're on, I could think about, a schedule right now, but that wouldn't impact this. And that's part of why I set alarms. And like from time to time, you'll like, get hit. Oh yeah, I have something else or whatever it may be. But like it doesn't benefit the reality of your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
more like a list of options
Mhm.
for yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it is interesting to think about like if you didn't have like a schedule or a list, like how and we really like just were because that's something I've noticed sometimes. It's like how perfectly things play out sometimes in terms of kind of timing and stuff like that. And it's like, even though there's no alarms, no timing, anything, you're just there at the right time. Like, yeah, I've been noticing that from time to time. And it's a little bit shocking. It's like, it's almost like, why did I decide to go there right then? And, the timing of everything, right? It's like, is it even necessary to like if you yeah, I don't know, but I do keep like alarms on all my calendar listings. Otherwise, I know what's going or right. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't trust myself enough to don't do, not do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Right. And it's like that sort of balance because then you can start overdoing it and like you snooze an alarm that you're like a new thing that you thought was a snooze. It's like it's not even relevant anymore. It's like you can kind of become even numb to that.
Mm, yeah,
If you're really not paying attention, I guess. But yeah,
yeah,
it is the timing of things is pretty wild, and how much that has to do with just relaxing makes me wonder. Like
Yeah, I
just
think it has a lot to do with that.
yeah. And it's not that it changes everything, but there is, I don't know, more of an ability to recognize that
Mm.
like there's always a seamlessness to things.
Because
Like
I do sometimes feel like kind of things that I do when I'm kind of a little bit confused and stressed and not relaxed, they even they kind of make sense, like looking back at it sometimes, it's like I'm not sure if that's true, but it sometimes feels like it's been lining up something. Maybe I don't know. Uh yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, the yeah, you look back with some degree of, you know, real good attention, seeing things and seeing kind of the seamlessness. You're like, oh yeah, no, that does that
Hmm.
makes a whole lot of sense. And then it it kind of reinforces how it's like, okay, so if that all made sense when I was at conflict with things, and I can pay attention now a little bit more closely. Yes, because that's what you got. I can't remember if I really hope this is recording. Yes, it is.
It is
All
recording.
right,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Um, yeah, I'm good to wrap up soon.
Yeah. Let's wrap up.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, yeah, great chatting as always, Levi.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Likewise.
the yoga sesh. Look forward to yeah, getting
Yeah.
back.
How is like the length of the yoga sessions? Do you find that like they're a little bit shorter than kind of a classic one, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they're great. What are they, like 30 minutes?
Yeah, something plus minus. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Then
they're awesome.
all right. Then I will see you around.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. See you later. Have a good one,
Yeah.
man.
You too.